Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm here to make learning fun and easy. If you are using NCERT textbooks, you're in the right place. On this channel, we will explore NCERT chapters. For all those who are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe so we can learn together. Today, we will begin with chapter 7 from your EVS NCERT textbook of class 3. The chapter is Water, a Precious Gift. So all of you all get ready with your textbooks. Open your page number 86. So now before we start with the chapter or recap the water cycle. So the water cycle is given over here. So now the water cycle is made up of 4 processes. The first process is evaporation. When the sun shines on water, it heats it up and turns it into vapor. This process is called evaporation. So the first process is evaporation. So what happens with the evaporated water? It goes up in the air, in the sky. So now second process takes place, that is condensation. So what is condensation? Condensation is basically the water vapor rises into the sky and cools down. It turns back into tiny water droplets forming clouds. This part of the cycle is called condensation. So now what happens? The vapor rises up and then it cools down. So then again water droplets are formed, and because of these water droplets the clouds get formed. Now let's go to the third step. The third step is nothing but precipitation. What happens in precipitation? When the clouds get heavy with water droplets, they release water in the form of precipitation. So this precipitation can be in the form of rain, snow, sleet or hail depending on the temperature. Now all that precipitate, what happens to that precipitate? It again comes back to the earth. So then once all that water comes back to the earth, what happens? The fourth process takes place, or the fourth step of the water cycle, which is nothing but collection. So collection, what happens in collection? The precipitation falls back to the ground and collects in rivers, lakes and ocean. This water will eventually evaporate again, continuing the cycle. So now the cycle, this is how the cycle goes, round and round and round. So from collection again it will go to evaporation, condensation, precipitation, back to collection. So this is a cycle, unending cycle which never ends. So now let's go back to your textbook, and in your textbook page 86, can you see the image? This image on your page 86, what does it show? So try to describe this image. What image is it? It is an image of a rainy day. It is a rainy day and water is being collected everywhere. You can see streams of water is being formed which are flowing. See, from the mountain it's coming down. So this is a very beautiful image and you can see greenery around. Can you see this? What happens during rainy season? There's greenery around. Everywhere you'll see green. And the beautiful rain is just falling down. What an amazing scene to experience. Now look at page number 87. So what does it say? Read carefully. What comes down but never goes up? What do you think is the answer for this? The answer is rain. Rain comes down but never goes up as rain. It goes up as vapor. Okay, now what is written next? Watch the sky every day for a week. Will it rain? Your guess may be right on some days and on some days it may be wrong. Are there any clues that help you guess if it will rain? Ask an elder about how they guess. Write down the clues. So it's given, so look below. I think it will rain today because you're supposed to write 2 clues, and I think it will not rain today because you have to write another 2 clues. So here I've given already. So here I've already given you the answer. You just have to read it and write down. So what does it say? I think it will rain today because there are thick clouds in the sky. There is a strong wind blowing. I can smell rain in the air. I'm sure everybody can smell rain in the air. The moment it starts raining somewhere, even far away, you can smell it. I think it will not rain today because the sky is clear and blue. The sun is shining brightly in the skies. These are a few reasons that you can give. Look over here. A boy is enjoying his rain. I'm sure many of you all also might be enjoying rain in similar manner. Right? So now turn your page. And on the next page we have a few question answers that we are supposed to do. What does it say? Activity 1. Look at activity 1. Ask yourself as many questions as you can about the rain. Is it a heavy rain or a light one? So these are the questions that you are supposed to answer after observing a rain. So your answer for this will be, if it is heavy, you're going to write it is a heavy rain, or you're going to write it is a light rain. So the next one is, are the raindrops big or small? So depending on what you see, your answer will differ. Answer is going to be the raindrops are small or the raindrops are big. Next, do they come down fast or slow? This is the third one. So the raindrops come down fast or the raindrops come down slow. Next, is the rain so heavy that you do not see the water drops but only lines or sheets of water? Yes. If it is heavy, then you'll say yes, the rain is so heavy that I cannot see the water droplets. I can only see lines and sheets of water. Or, no, the rain is not heavy, hence I can easily see the water droplets falling. The next question is the rain falling straight down? Is it slanting or changing its direction? Guess why? The rain is falling down straight, slanting or changing its direction. So this all depends on your observation of rain. So you're supposed to write either one of this. The rain is falling down straight, slanting or changing its direction. This is because of the strong winds that are blowing that make the rain change its direction. So now you know why rain changes its direction. It's because of the strong winds that are blowing. And the last question is, collect rainwater in a vessel. Does it look clean or dirty? So this is a very nice question. See, rainwater is supposed to be the most purest and the cleanest form of water. Only and only if you collect it directly in a vessel or a utensil. So if you collect the rainwater that is flowing from your terrace or your roof, so what happens? It gets mixed with all the impurities. So that is why the rainwater looks dirty. So to have clean water, you take a utensil or a vessel and keep it directly under the rain and see how clean the water is. So the answer for this is yes, the rainwater is clean. And here you are supposed to draw the rain that you have observed. You are supposed to imagine and draw. Now go to the next page. Now, here are some questions in that yellow box. So read carefully. Do you think, so this is for y'all to find out, discuss. This is for you children to understand. So do you think it will rain again today or tomorrow? Why do you think so? Did it rain only in your area or in other nearby places as well? Make a guess, then ask and find out. Find some songs about the rain or make up one in your language or any other language. Sing some songs about the rain. So there are so many songs about rain, right? So you can just pick up one of those or you can ask your elders to help you with this activity. Did the rain make you happy? Did it make everyone happy? So what happens when it rains? Doesn't it make you happy? You get to eat nice hot bhajis, pakoras with some warm tea or warm milk or hot chocolate. So definitely it makes you happy. What happened to the rain? When it rained, a lot of water fell to the ground. Where did all the water go? Where did all the water go? That is your first question. So what will we say? Where did all the water go? Some water gets absorbed into the earth's surface, while the rest gets either collected on the surface of the earth or it gets evaporated. Okay, either collected or gets evaporated. Now, here is the rainwater falling on different surfaces. Imagine what happens to the rainwater on different surfaces. So there are a few surfaces given over here. Like you can see, here it's 1, 2 and 3. These are the 3 surfaces that are given. The first surface is plant. Okay. What happens when the water falls on plants? Do the plants absorb water? No, the plants don't absorb water from the leaves. They absorb water from the roots. So definitely it will absorb water from the roots, the underground water. But will it absorb water from the leaves? No. The second one, this is either a tree bark or a branch of a tree. So does it absorb water? No, it does not absorb water. What about this? This is the earth's surface. What happens when water falls on the earth's surface? It gets collected. Okay, the water gets collected. You can see over here. The water is getting collected and then it flows. We even saw in the image previously that the water is flowing. Right? So some water gets absorbed inside. Some flows or some remains on the surface. Back to the paragraph. Does the rainwater get absorbed into the soil, collect in puddles or flow away? Have you ever wondered whether it joins a small stream of river? So what happens? Here we found a new word, puddles. What is a puddle? You can see it in an image over here. This is a puddle. So basically, puddle is a small pool of water that forms on the surface. Puddle is a small pool of water that forms on the surface. So every time it rains, you might have seen, right, water getting collected. So this is basically a puddle. So now what happens after the rain stops and the sun comes out? What happens when the rain stops and the sun comes out? The rainwater dries up. Right? It doesn't stay on the surface for a very long time. It gets absorbed, it evaporates, it dries up. Now, what happens to all the water? Make your own guess. So this is your guess. When rainwater gets soaked into the soil, it may slowly flow under the soil to join a stream or a pond. Some of the water gets stored under the ground between the rocks and the soil. The water in our well comes from this underground water. So from where does water come in our wells? The water in our wells comes from this underground water. Water flowing in the stream later joins rivers. Some of the water gathers in puddles, ponds and lakes and also in the sea and oceans. So this is what happens to the water. So carefully look at this image, children. This is rainfall. So what happens when it rains? The water gets collected. Right? And these are streams of water. So then what happens? All these streams join together to form a river. The streams join together to form river. And see, all this underground water, the water that has soaked inside groundwater. This is your underground water. Can you see? Now let's go to the next page. I want all of y'all to read it along with me. So there's something find out. So read it. Is there a stream, river, pond or lake near your village or city? Find out its name and some information about it. Visit it and draw its picture. Draw any trees, birds or animals that you see around it. Find a poem about a river and sing it in the class. So this is for you to find out some fun activities. So now let's move further. Water is a precious gift. Definitely it is. Right? Water is very precious. So water is a gift that falls from the sky. This gift reaches our homes in special ways. How do we care for this gift? How do we store it? What do we do with it? There are so many questions that we are supposed to answer. Let us go indoors and find out. On most days, Surya and Barkha get water from the taps at home. At school too, they get water from taps. All these taps get water through pipes. From where does the water come into these pipes? Surya and Barkha followed the pipes and found that there was a tank on the roof. Now they are puzzled with how the water came into the tank in the first place. So now let's find out what happened. Surya and Barkha. This boy over here is Surya and he has a sister called Barkha. So now what did he find? He saw that the water is coming from the tap. So he got curious, from where does water come into the tap? So on being curious, he found out that the water that is coming from your tap, it comes from pipes. And those pipes are further connected to a tank. There's an overhead tank. From the overhead tank, the water enters the pipeline. From the pipeline, the water enters the tap. And from the tap, the water comes to us and we use it. Water gets used. So this is how it works. So now he is curious from where the water comes into the tap. So that we can see in the next page. Where do you get water from? Do you get water from a tap? If yes, ask the elders in your house from where the water comes into the tap. So we saw that the water comes into the tap from pipelines, right? From water pipelines. They may tell you about a tank high up on the terrace or some other distance. See, a tank that is placed high up. Did you find out about any tanks where the water is stored? How did the water reach those tanks? Are there some bigger pipes which bring the water to this tank? And where do these pipes come from? Here, it is about those who get water from the taps. So now, you can see these two images. These are images of water tanks. These are huge water tanks that provide water to a large area. You can also call them as community water tanks. So these provide water to certain amount of households. Now let's go to the next para. The next para says, do you get water from a well or a bore well? So now for the tap we saw that you need a water tank, right, to provide you with water. Now what about the wells and bore wells? Observe how water is drawn from the well. So from the well, how do you get water? You get water, you use this motor and you pull out the water. It could be using a pulley or a hand pump or an electric pump. So the image of this image is an electric pump. Guess again where the water in the well comes from. So children, by now you all should be able to answer from where the water in the well comes from. Where does it come from? It comes from the groundwater. We saw that water, when it rains, what happens? The water that is collected, some of it gets absorbed inside the soil and reaches the ground level. So then it turns into groundwater. Does someone bring water to your house from a tap or a well, from a river or a lake some distance away? Who carries this water? How do they bring it? Say a big thank you to the people who bring the water. So you can see a man over here, he's carrying water. Right? So do we have such kind of facility over here? No, we don't have, because everybody gets water in their taps. So we don't have people carrying water, but there are few states, few places where people have to go walk far away to find water, to get water to their house and store it and use it. So we should be very thankful that we get directly water in our taps. Right? We don't have to walk far away to carry water, to get water. Now, there's one more find out. There's another find out for you. Do you get water delivered in a tanker? Yes, during summers there is a water tanker that comes and fills your water reserve. If yes, find out where the tankers bring water from. Where do you think the tankers bring water from? The tankers bring water from wells. Does your water come from a well, river, or lake near your village or city? This you have to ask your parents and answer. Do you know anyone who faces difficulty in water? Do you know anyone who faces difficulty in getting water every day? Do you know anybody? Do we have such water scarcity? No, we don't have, and we should be very happy that we don't have, because still there are many regions in India who face water scarcity, and especially during summers. Yes, during summers, many of us face water scarcity. So, whenever you use your water, use it wisely. Now we go to the next page, water in our daily lives. So list all the activities you can think of for which we need water. I'm sure you will have a few activities in your mind right now that for which we need water, right? So we'll look at it. How many mugs of water do you need to brush your teeth? How much water do you use to take a shower? Now, this is an amazing question. So, how many mugs of water do you use? Do you use a mug to brush, or you go and stand directly under your basin and you start brushing your teeth with your tap on? Is that what you do? If yes, then please make sure that you turn off the tap while brushing. It's very important. Have you ever faced a situation when you did not get any water? What did you do then? One day it happened to Surya and Barkha too. Do you know what they did? So now let's go and see what they did. So there's this image. Can you see this image over here? Okay, now can you see this image? Okay, before going to the image, I would like you to read all these activities that require water. See, there are activities that require water. What are these? Drinking, cooking, bathing, washing, cleaning, watering plants, and flushing. These are a few activities that require water. If you have any more activities that you think that requires water, then you can add it. Now let's go to this image. See, today what happened? Barkha and Surya, they did not get water all of a sudden. Why? See, first you can see Barkha's mother reading in the newspaper. What is she reading? The society pipeline burst today. So the pipeline has burst and they are not able to get water today. So what do they do now? See, Surya has gone to wash his hands and he can see that there's no water. And what is he saying? No water today. Oh no! You can see Barkha saying, oh no! So what is their father saying now? What is their father saying? We have stored 2 buckets of water. So he's telling them that we have stored a few buckets of water. Y'all can use that. So this normally happens when the pipeline has burst or during summer. So you should always use water wisely. Now let's go to the next page. There's another find out. There are so many things to find out in this chapter, right? Ask your grandparents or any elder. How did they get water? Did they use water in the same way as you do? How did they store water? Write a short story about what you found out. So this is a very good thing that you are supposed to write. Ask and write. This will improve your writing skills and as well as your thoughts on water. Now let's start reading. When we know that we do not get water in all times, then we store it. In some places, people do not get running water through taps and pipes in their homes. They have to bring water from a river or well. Sometimes it is delivered through water tankers and stored at home. Many years ago, there were no pipes or taps anywhere in the world. So people learned to make containers or vessels to store water. Here are some vessels that we use nowadays for storing water at home. They are made of different materials. So you can see there is a variety of image over here. These are all those things that are used. So earlier what all was used? Clay pot, clay surahi, copper vessel, brass pot, steel pot, aluminium pot, glass bottle and plastic bucket. These are all the things that are used to store water. There are a lot more that are used, but these are a few that are given to you. Okay, so now the next page, it's an activity given to you. It's about an exhibition that you all are supposed to prepare for. So let's read it, and all those who are interested in doing this exhibition can definitely give it a try. Put up an exhibition. Identify different vessels used to keep water in your home. Ask the elders in your family what types of vessels they store water in. Were they different from what we use now? Did the vessels have different names? On a separate sheet of paper, draw a picture of any vessel that you find interesting and write its name in your language. Put up an exhibition of these pictures in your classroom with the help of your teacher. Walk around and observe the drawings by your classmate. How many different kinds of vessels have been drawn? Did you find any pattern on the vessels? So this is an amazing exhibition for you children. I hope many of you all do this. It will be really fun. So give it a try. So now let's go to the next page. What does the next page say? Stop for a moment and think. See, what is it saying already? Stop for a moment and think. It is asking you to think. So let's see. Why is it asking us to think? Water comes down to earth as rain, right? Yes. It slowly fills up our many sources. What are the sources? Streams, rivers, ponds, lakes, wells, groundwater, etc. So these are a few sources that it fills. So from these sources, we bring water to our homes in many ways. So from these sources, we get water to our house, either through pipelines, through bore wells, through, many different ways of getting water tankers. So from these sources, we bring water to our homes in many ways. We store it in many ways. Definitely we store it in many ways. We use it in many ways. So what are the different ways that we use in? We have seen, right? For different purposes we use water. What happens to the water after we use? So this is a very interesting question. What happens to the water after we use? So till we use, we know what happens. So what happens after we use? So this is something for you to think about. Water helps us in keeping things clean. This is very important for our health. But after we use it, the water becomes dirty. We cannot use dirty water for drinking or cooking. But we can reuse the water for watering our plants or for flushing toilets. So this is one thing that you all can do. Let us strive to reduce our use of water and reuse water whenever possible. So you children, young minds can do this. Instead of just wasting water, you all can reduce and reuse water. We should not add too much soap and other such chemicals in water. Let us take care of this precious gift from the sky. What does the next page say? Every drop counts. What does it say? Every drop counts. Water is considered sacred. What is sacred? Sacred means holy or pavitra. Okay, pavitra. Water is considered sacred because it is absolutely essential for our survival. We cannot live more than 3 days without drinking water. This is the reason we first offer water to people who come to our home. In some places where it rains very little, there are no big water bodies. People have to walk for long distance to get water. Do you recall any such places? Try thinking about some places. Deserts. Do we have any such regions in India? The Rajasthan, the Thar desert, the Run of Kutch. There's only sand. So people who live in such regions, they have to walk for long distances to get water. Kilometers they have to walk to get water. So most of us are very lucky that we have water which comes directly to our house. Isn't it? Just think about it. Don't you think everyone must get clean drinking water anywhere, anytime? Take action. So this says take action. So let's see, what is it telling us to do? Offer clean drinking water to whoever comes to your door. This is one thing that we can definitely practice. It could be people who provide us postal or sanitation services. In many places, there is a tradition of keeping pots of water outside homes so that anybody feeling thirsty can have water. This is particularly so in the hot summer months. So during summer months, what happens? It is very hot. People get thirsty. You get exhausted. You feel tired. So there are few images over here. See, free drinking water for people. Drinking water for animals in a tank. A bird bath. Now let's go to the next page. See, I've added an image over here. You can see young girls and women walk for long distances to get water. So be thankful that we are getting water. And here we have another activity for you. Lots of activities in this chapter. This is your fourth activity. It says to prepare a bird bath. A bird bath contains water in a shallow plate for birds to drink and cool down. This summer, I'm sure you all can try this. It's going to be an amazing thing to do. So take a shallow and wide container like it is shown over here. The base should be less than 10 centimeter. It should be of a wide base and less than 10 centimeters deep. So keep some stones in it for birds to perch. What do you mean by perch? To sit on. You make the sides sloping by adding some smaller pebbles. Smaller pebbles also help insects to use this water. Add fresh water to keep this bowl in your yard, balcony or terrace. Change the water frequently. Clean the bird bath with a scrubber twice a week. Do not use this scrubber for kitchen utensils. You are not supposed to use this scrubber for your kitchen utensils. It should be a separate old scrubber kept only and only for your bird bath. Reserve it for the garden. You all can try this activity. So we have come to the end of this chapter, and at the end I would just like to say, use water wisely. And water is a very precious gift that is given to us. I hope you all understand its importance. And thank you for watching this video. Please do like, share and subscribe my video. Make sure it reaches to everyone who wants to read and learn. So let's learn together. Let's keep learning together.